All right, and we are back live with the Blame Girl podcast with
Mr. Terry Wayne.
and we got Lander T in the house. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, Lander. I can't wait to get to talk to you about your comedy experiences. How was your weekend?
It was fun. I went to a volunteer beach cleanup yesterday and accidentally hurt my ankle, but it was fun. It's nice to be on the little island near Florida. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Did you do any comedy this weekend or not?
Not this weekend. Well, I did Mike, I believe. It's been long weeks, so I think I did Mike last week, and
okay.
I think I'm gonna try to do 2 next week, and then there's a show coming up next week as well.
Nice. We'll talk about your show later. Just trying to figure out what happened. I don't know if we are streaming live. Can you tell, Terry?
I believe yes.
Okay, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. How was your weekend, Terry?
All right, pretty quiet. We had a tornado here yesterday. So
I think I saw that online. What, y'all made it out okay then, thank God.
Luckily it wasn't it didn't come our way. They said it was either going to go, to the north or to the east. If it would have gone to the east, we would have had a different situation, but it ended up going north, so it touched down north of Nashville instead of east.
Okay.
But that's a nice how do you do.
I agree. That's like you went from hurricanes to tornadoes, huh?
Yeah, I actually I shouldn't joke about it. I think some people died, so it wasn't yeah. But yeah, so that was a little excitement yesterday.
All right.
I beat that.
I had a pretty chill weekend. I did the boat show parade. And yesterday I didn't do anything. I just stayed at home. I decorated for Christmas, chores, and that's about it. I'm gonna go meet our good friend Brian Jolet here after the show, hang out for a little bit. But my weekend's pretty easy. I did do a mic on Thursday. That was Bodega, and I don't know that I had a good time. I feel like I've been having existential crisis lately. I don't know. So
those are the best kind of crises.
Yeah. Our friend Chong, who I don't know if you know him, Terry, but he was a little, open micer that would come out sometimes and try out comedy, and he was at our O'Shea's mic, and he passed, and he'll be missed, but it's been heavy on my heart lately, so I've been thinking about that. I feel like I've known more people to pass away doing comedy than just in my regular life. I don't know about y'all, but the more comedians I know, the more people I know that pass on.
Well, I'm sure there's a reason for that.
I mean, that's life, but you get to know a lot more people. It's numbers, I think, right?
Well, not only that, but comedians, we drive more. We live lifestyles that are a little more on the edge. A lot more drug use. A lot more. So, I agree. I've known people who have died in comics. Who have died in car crashes. Because they're always on the road, and
probably not
cocaine overdoses, and
Yeah. So anyway, R.I.P. Chong. Are y'all ready to do some blaming? Let's bring it back up, maybe. I don't know. This person.
You're the one who brought it down.
I know. I'm saying, but we've been talking about Jonathan Majors over the last few weeks. As you know, he was accused of assaulting his girlfriend, and the trial's underway. He countersued her, right, saying that she abused him. And that suit was dropped. This suit's moving forward. I've heard some crazy things. But what I want to know is, why did this MF tell this white woman that she needed to behave more like Coretta Scott King or Michelle Obama? Who's to blame, guys?
Ah,
It's pretty interesting. Like, I think it's going on right now, right? Because there's
Mm.
some new videos from yesterday, and I literally watched
Yeah.
it right before I left my door.
Yeah. I saw like some of the text messages. I watched TikTok and I follow these narcissists, right? And they're like, I'm a narcissist, and they're like watching and reading his text messages, and they're like, he's a narcissist. Like he's telling her, like she's like apologizing that she might need to go to the hospital to get one of her injuries treated. It's wild. So, but why would he expect her as a white woman to behave like why would he go there? Why would he use those two examples as women that he wants his woman to behave like?
I don't know.
when I first read this, my first thought was like, okay, anybody who's been in a relationship knows that there's always like talking points
Mhm.
that you have in that. And I think that was like a callback to some other conversation they had had. And it like if I followed like three lines of logic, it almost seems like she's the one who originally brought that up. Like, who I really admire, and then she picked obviously female black leaders because she's talking to this black guy that she likes. You know what I mean?
Jonathan
Like,
Majors is like the epitome of civil rights activist black guy, right? And so, of course, it's going to be a Michelle Obama or a Coretta Scott King walking next to him. But I don't think that's what it is. I think it goes back to his narcissism, and he wants a woman that's going to keep quiet and be polite in public, regardless of what is going on behind doors.
that could be it, but to me, it seems more like an insight thing because that's very specific people to pick. And then it seems weird for him to just bring that up out of nowhere and put it on her. It seems a lot more likely that that's from something previous in the relationship. But I've already told you the body cam footage is all I need on this to make a judgment call. You
Yeah.
know, and I've known some crazy chicks in my life, and
You
it
blaming
all.
her. You're still on her.
I'm saying it all tracks. Okay, I'm saying I've been in those kind of toxic relationships, and it very much tracks. I'm not saying he's right in 100% of the ways, and but I'm saying like if I was a judge and had to make a call on this, the body cam footage is all I need.
Yeah.
I mean, cops show up, middle-aged black guy,
You
young
don't
white
need
girl.
text messages of him saying, don't go to the hospital.
Well, there's a reason why the judge didn't allow those to be admitted, because they have no bearing on this particular incident. So again, we don't. When you take things out of context, you can draw whatever scenario you want. You know what I mean? Uh, you know, like for instance, I was texting a girl once, and she told me the story of uh, how her cat had been attacked by a pit bull, and she was going to lose a leg, and she was in the hospital, and they didn't know if she was going to make it. But what I heard was her sister got attacked by a pit bull. So everything beyond that, my reaction was very different from what it should have been. So I'm saying, like, if you took those text messages out of context, it would seem like I'm the person that loves this cat the most in the world. Do you know what I'm saying? Just because, again, you take things out of context, you can draw whatever narrative you want. So again, when it comes to that kind of stuff, and remember, we're only trying this incident. We're not trying their relationship. But I can definitely see whenever somebody
Incident where he's encouraging her not to go get health care when she is in pain.
I've done that. I mean, I'll just say it. I've told people
You
like,
get your girlfriend, you
well,
encourage her.
not necessarily a girlfriend, but I could totally see myself like, okay, I don't think you really need to go to the hospital for this. Just being responsible. You know what I mean?
But they
Like,
have the resources to go to that. I mean, like that's
But the thing that in the text message, I think the newest one, like the one from yesterday, he was saying that, oh, what you gonna tell them? Like, you, no matter if you lie or not, like they're gonna ask you questions. So like that's
yeah,
kind of like he's not against the idea of going to hospital. He's against the idea of what she's gonna say.
yeah. And what will come out after she's treated.
Yeah.
It's about him. It's not about her pain. And I think that's
well,
what you're missing.
well,
But
when you date a celebrity, this is kind of what you're
and
it's
that
kind of what you're signing up for. And I don't mean just like the narcissistic part. I mean, again, you take things out of context, you can draw whatever you want. Now, what I'm hearing is an implication of, well, what are you going to say? Because and then in parentheses, because I don't want you telling anybody about how I beat you or whatever.
yeah,
But it could have easily been, well, what are you going to say? Because my Marvel contract says that I'm not allowed to, have public incidents or whatever. Um, and it might be construed the wrong way. So again, when you get like TMZ involved and everything, yeah, you do have to be careful. So I mean, I see that, and
he needs
I'm
to be
not
a
saying the
little bit
former
more
is
that
not
concerned
true.
with himself.
I'm not saying the former is not true. I'm just saying the latter is equally likely.
She was injured. She was having a headache. She's like, I'm sorry, babe, but if my head hurts tomorrow, I'm gonna have to go. Like he's pleading with her not to go, and she's going. She wants to go, and you're
Right.
apologizing for this behavior, Terry. Come on, do better.
Okay. Again, nobody's telling. No, well, from what I read, he's not saying you can't go. He's just trying to persuade her not to go. He's like, this is going to be a story tomorrow, right? Like somebody's going to write this up.
But then
So
like
when you live that kind of life, being a narcissist is almost like a defense mechanism.
but the thing that that's his issue. Like if he's concerned about that, he can end the relationship. Like
Yeah.
he
Agreed.
it's like it's not his job to put the pressure on her. Like if
Yeah.
they have concern, that's his issue.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
but the whole thing, I don't have my own decision for their trial right now because like you said, there's no context. We don't know what's going on with their relationship. Like we don't know how they end up in this position. But yeah, like I felt like the judges or like even the whole law to this whole story should be focused on this thing instead of going back to, oh, he's abusive, oh, she's abusive. Like it's just going way too far than this thing itself.
What do you think this thing is specifically, though?
Well, they're suing about who actually beat up who.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like he's being prosecuted as like for a crime.
Mhm.
And then he tried to countersue her somehow, but I don't know how.
Well, it's not.
Maybe there's also a civil suit, but there's definitely a criminal suit against him. And let me just say this: when it comes to guys like you're not gonna fucking P Diddy your way through life anymore. That time's over. These women are gonna fucking come out and they're gonna call you out. No one's gonna be Coretta Scott King. This ain't the 1960s, and we're not gonna shut up about your affairs and whatever bullshit that you're doing. Like you're gonna get called out. So no, you can't have a Coretta Scott King unless that's Megan Good now, because she's went right there by his side, which I don't know what that's about. But
Well, I'm just
another
saying.
celebrity woman that has the same problems as you with these contracts where you can't get into stuff and you ain't gonna get into stuff.
Well, I think yes, you're right. If somebody is, crossing the line and getting out of pocket, yes, women are going to come out and say that. I'm also saying that it wasn't too long ago where everybody was siding with Amber Heard, and then he sued her for defamation. The same exact situation that's happening right now, except there's criminal charges against him. So first, we have to have the criminal trial, whether he's found innocent or guilty, and then he's filing defamation lawsuit the same way that Johnny Depp did. So I'm not going to step on a wire and say he's innocent or guilty because who knows? Because when you deal with a relationship like that, if you're not in the kitchen, you don't know what's actually cooking.
Look, in my opinion, it's given guilt. Johnny Depp's was not given guilt. I don't remember a criminal suit, but the lawsuit by against Amber Heard it was given guilt on Amber Heard's part. That's why we have these trials. That's why we
Mm.
present evidence. And as evidence is presented, because I've been swaying back and forth, it did feel like maybe she was lying. And me as a Black woman and seeing this Black man get accused of this by this white woman, it's, it puts me in a position where in one hand, I want to protect the Black man, despite what Black men think. Yeah, Black women still have that urge to want to protect you. And then on the other hand, I'm a woman, and it makes me want to side with the woman and understand and believe what the woman says. And it's given she's the victim here, in my opinion. And I feel like you're being an apologist. But with that said, I want to move on to other apologists.
Well, then why was she at the club that night? Just saying.
Because
So
she had
bad.
to act like Coretta Scott King, Terry.
Coretta Scott King at the club after all that?
All right.
After all that trauma?
Speaking of apologists, Jordan Peterson, Matt Rife, as we know, he's out here. He has kind of bashed his women fans, or made jokes about women that were related to like domestic violence, criticized about that. So what does he do? He goes on to the Jordan Peterson podcast so he can mansplain comedy to Matt Rife. Who's to blame? Why would Matt Rife make this move, guys?
I mean, for the same reason any comedian does anything for publicity.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say necessarily that he needs it, considering how fast and how huge his career has gotten just based on TikTok. I don't know. I don't know, but Jordan Peterson came out of nowhere. I mean, he's just a shrink. He's just a shrink from Canada. But because of all the attention, because
he's a misogynist shrink.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, not what I was saying.
I'm just saying he's misogynist. Like, why would Matt Rife go to a misogynist to have it just my mind
explodes. Well, you say misogynist, some people would say traditional.
Lana, here.
I heard about that joke before, and then I think I didn't watch it until like last week.
Mm-hmm.
So the things that we say joke is by the structure of the joke, comedians can say that's a good joke, but is it offensive? Yes. And that I think this whole thing it goes down to like how well the society is okay with being rude in a joke.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter like who it goes to. Like he felt like he needs to defend because he think it's a good joke.
Yeah, because people are like, "Oh, you're canceled now. You can't cancel comedians." I'm sorry, like it hasn't. It just hasn't worked. You can't cancel comedians if they have a large fan base.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's insane. It's insane to want to cancel a comedian over a joke. That's their job, is to tell jokes. If you are too sensitive, if you're sensitive about that, there's two things you can do. One, hire your own comedian and say, these are the things you can joke about, and these are the things that you can't. But if you go into the harsh environment of a comedy club or a comedy show that you didn't pay for and say, well, I didn't like that, and the whole audience is laughing, I'm sorry. Sometimes you got to sacrifice one for the many.
You're being a narcissist, right? You're being a narcissist. No, but
no, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're being a narcissist. If you go,
I am absolutely not.
Comedian not the comedian, the person that's complaining is being a narcissist.
Yes.
If you go to a show and it's someone who already has a market, and you're there and you don't like it, maybe that's not the market for you. There is all kind of comedy markets. You can go silly, you can go family, you can go blue, you can go black, you can go bro, whatever your genre is, it's out there. But what's weird about Matt Rife's genre, if you will, was crowd work.
Yeah,
he is, I would dare say, brilliant at crowd work.
It's not really his genre.
So, people have said that his old stand-ups, like my sister really liked his old stand-up. I don't know if I've seen it, but this new stand-up that I saw him do, it was fine.
Well, the special that came out is like, I mean, it's
fine. It wasn't
pretty,
like, oh my God,
pretty mid.
The next Dave Chappelle. No.
I didn't watch his special. So all the clips I watch is like, so he's only famous for crowd work in China. So like that's all the clips I've seen.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is like a young comedian who's getting there.
Mhm.
But I'm not the best at crowd work, but like his ones, like every time I watch it, I was like, okay, he must prepare a lot of knowledge just based on random things.
Yeah.
And but like,
But he's not I mean, he's been in the game for what does he say, 13 years? He's started
27.
I don't know.
No, it's not been that long. But yeah, he started when he was like 16 or 17.
He
Yeah.
started when he was really young,
Wow.
and he's someone who got popular on TikTok. Let's just be honest. And that's what it takes for the market now, is for you to have a lot of followers. And if you do, you can sell out arenas. And if you do sell out arenas, that doesn't always equal good stand-up comedy. That's all. You know, we're gonna get all these comedians that are more or less personalities. And that's why people go see them and they're funny. And that's fine.
Well,
That's
yeah.
that market. But if you want to do stand-up comic, maybe that's not the comedian for you, or maybe it is. Maybe you do like the way he does stand-up and you do like the way he swung from this way to that way. So
Well, I mean, it's just like with the YouTube thing. It used to be you'd have these YouTube celebrities coming in and selling out the improvs, even when I worked there.
yeah,
You know, they're selling out the improvs, and you go and you watch that show, and it's horrible as far as stand-up comedy goes.
yeah.
But they sell tickets, and if you put asses in seats, guess what? You're going to get those seats. There's always going to be a way for you to get a venue like that. But yeah, he's a TikTok comedian.
I just
He's
read.
great.
Oh, sorry.
He's good doing that crowd work, but that's not stand up. That's just again being a personality, you know.
So I feel like the problem is like he have this fan base, basically young women, and if he piss off his whole or like almost the entire fan base, I just find that something so stupid to do.
Yeah.
Like like
why would you shit on your market?
So the worst thing can happen to a comedian is that person being not funny. And if he have people find his funny, no matter like other people find him funny or not, he needs to make sure the people find him funny, finds him funny every time.
Yeah.
And that joke, I also have like a lot of offensive jokes, but what I keep in mind is how the topic I'm talking about still affects people nowadays. So I joke about history and stuff. I know like a lot of the things I joke about, even though it's bad.
Yeah.
But people say like, okay, nowadays we are not experiencing the same kind of benefits, or like it's not gonna harm for some people's life. And with the joke like beating up women, it's like why women find it not funny because
he's punching down.
It's okay.
Well, back to.
But no, I think this is the rule though. It's okay to punch down when you're already down. You can punch down. I can punch down. Terry shouldn't punch down.
I'm gonna punch wherever I want to punch.
He gonna do it, but
the crowd will decide whether it's funny or not.
And then look, if you do, there's a market for you. There is a market of white men out here that love white men that punch down. So go, you know.
If you punch them,
it's not even about. If I write a joke, it's not like I'm going, okay, I'm gonna punch down. What can I think about the punch down? No, it's just if a thought comes to me and it's funny, I don't really care where I'm punching. I'll punch up, down, or sideways. It doesn't matter what's funny and what isn't. But going back to the point, what the hell is Jordan Peterson explaining to a seasoned comedy and why they're funny? I mean, you talk about narcissists. That was the actual point, remember? Was that this jackass.
He wasn't really there to explain anything. He was just there to go up. He went to Matt Rife, went to Jordan Peterson, so they could both punch down on women. All right. Speaking of punching down, Chris Christie called Donald Trump unfit. Who's to blame?
Pretty obvious there. I mean, it's Donald Trump. Like, he is unfit. You know who I blame for this story? I blame the entire rest of the GOP. Like, with the exception of the Freedom Caucus or whatever, Marjorie Taylor Greene and all that, they're all sycophants. They all just suck
That
his.
should have Marjorie Taylor Greene do.
Well, yeah, like the Freedom Call, like Lauren Boebert, Matt Gates.
Why with the exception of them?
Well, because they truly believe what they're saying. Like those people
They actually
truly
believe in
think.
Trump. I got
Yeah,
you.
they think Trump is the second coming of Christ. But all the others are just lying, hypocritical blowhards that are so terrified to say a bad word against this man. So now it's left to people like Liz Cheney and Chris Christie, of all people. He never going to be a president ever. He's just wasting everybody's time up there. So I think he knows that. I think he knows I'm never actually going to be president. So let me use this platform to try and get my other Republicans to finally stand up and say, yes, this man is crazy. He's unfit, and we should all turn our back on him.
He's still trying to rescue his party from the Tea Party. Lander, what do you think here?
Well, so I'm not American in a way. I don't care, but I did some research about Christie yesterday. I'm like, because he called Trump a dictator and all that. I was like, based on what the things he done, like he shut down the bridge, he went to the national park. I was like, that sounds more dictator than what Trump did before. It's like he shut down a whole bridge to New Jersey just so that he can.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I felt like that's definitely.
It's funny because it's like you're not that great yourself, but with that said, thank you for being honest. You know what I'm saying? Like he's actually being honest about if we really want a leader that will run the country, and you don't want no drama. Trump was all drama, because you know why? Because he's he's a TikTok star. And that's why, like, he wants follows. So he's just gonna say outrageous shit when he's on TV. He don't give a damn about the country, and I want my politics boring. You know.
Well, absolutely. Like the worst thing that ever happened was young people started paying attention to politics. Because that didn't used to be the way. That used to be nerd shit. That was for old people. Nobody cared. That's why they started like Rock the Vote and all that, MTV back in the day. Yeah, because they were trying to get people to care, young people to care about it. Now they care way too much.
Saving like us from that bullshit. It's not the young people. It's the Tea Party people, and those are boomers.
Okay, well, you keep going back to Tea Party. No, I was saying like because so many young people got involved in politics, now it's a marketable product that we can sell. Now it's one of the biggest products we sell to the American people is politics. It's literally gotten in everything, and you know what I mean. And that happened when young people started getting involved.
No, I say Trump.
Oh
no, it's definitely his fault. Don't get me wrong, but
problem is so like again, I don't really care about American politics because I'm not from here and I probably would never vote here. But I just wonder one thing is like when you guys vote for somebody, because like Trump like 6 years ago he had the thing like the mega. Yeah. But then with this guy, he like his literally is like, okay, my political stand is Trump is unfit. But that's not a political stand.
Actually, that's what Terry was saying. He has no chance in winning, but he's up there just to call out Trump. That is his political stand. But what's really brave about that, Lander, is that there are 0 other Republicans that will, maybe like 1 or 2. They're afraid to say anything against Trump because of the blowback they may receive, because he's so wildly popular. It's not because they support his politics or his stances or any of that. It's because
they hate him.
They are afraid to lose fan base. They're going to lose followers if they don't support Trump, basically.
But doesn't that makes the whole Republican sounds like a dictatorship party?
It is. It's kind of getting there.
No, like felt like it's the thing. Like Republican for me, like that just felt like a old fashioned white leader rule.
The grand old party.
And then the what's the other one called?
Democratic.
Yes, Democrats
Democratic
Party. Just kind of be like anything could happen in a way.
So well, that's
I'm not. I'm trying to. I try my best to stay away from politics and anything related to world history my whole life. So like,
Well, you are
let
on the
me just
wrong
say
show.
this: you're gonna love our next topic because it's politics and comedy all rolled in one.
yeah.
Bitch, did y'all see this heifer, Lauren Boebert? She sandbags Dave Chappelle after taking a selfie with him and says, "Oh, it's 3 people here who only believe in 2 genders." Y'all, who's to blame? Why did this bitch do this to Dave?
Ugh, for this, because she's a snake. You know, the man was nice enough to take a selfie with you, and then you misrepresent him to try and help your stupid, hateful cause. Like, ugh, what a garbage person. Literally, if I hope she gets cancer of the eyes of the AIDS, you know?
That makes her look so much. And he goes on stage that night and he says, I didn't, he's like, she surprised me. I didn't know this was going to happen. And then he goes, I was going to offer, I had 2 tickets to Batman. I was going to offer her one.
No, Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, yeah.
Hand jobs in the fucking movie theater. This is fucking.
No.
Lena, what did you think about this story?
I will definitely blame her for that because I feel like this kind of goes to consent. He gave her consent to take selfie. Doesn't mean he gives consent to post it.
Yeah.
So and also like yeah, like taking selfie with people that people can put any words on that. Like somebody else can. It's like memes. Yeah. You have a public picture and people can turn you into anything.
Yeah.
But does the people give the concert? No. So
it's like, have some critical thinking. Like when I saw it, I was like, that nigga don't support her.
Yeah.
He just it's a fan taking a selfie with him because he's fucking Dave Chappelle. Loved, by conservatives and liberals alike, right?
You know what the real shame about this is? The real shame about this is now he's going to be put on extra guard. So there are going to be some actual fans out there be like, hey, let me get a selfie real quick.
And that's what I was going to say.
While he's walking around and he's going to be like, sorry, I can't do it. Lauren Boebert fucked it up for everybody.
I was going to say, and that's why some celebrities don't take pictures with fans because of bullshit like what she did. You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't even know who the fuck Lauren Boebert was before that. And now here he is having to I don't even think he really has to defend himself. It's just going to give him material and show her as what a trash person she is.
Oh, she's such garbage. She's like one of the worst people. I hate her more than most politicians. Like I hate her more than most people.
Yeah. That's just, there's so much to say. Like her kids are trash. Her ex-husband's trash. Remember that thing with her ex-husband and her kid? It was just her, MJT, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah.
No, MTG. Anyway, enough about. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Tander, you kept saying like you're like, I'm not from here, so I'm not trying to get in your politics. Now, see, most of the people that I know from other countries, they do pay attention to our politics because it directly affects world politics. You know, who our president is or who our president gets. When our president gets elected, it's like ripples through the international community.
What Terry's trying to say is Americans are narcissists. We believe that we affect the whole world, which
no, I'm saying we are the most I'm just saying we're the most influential country in the world right now.
I mean, I'm just joking, or at least that's what they do here in America. All right, so let's get to know our guests. Lander T, welcome to our show. It's cool because you're a new face around here. So we'll get to see how long you've been around here. But how long have you been doing comedy?
Actually, just 4 years.
Nice.
I started probably like maybe 9 days later, 4 years ago.
How did you get started?
I used to work with public speaking, and then I like to talk random stuff in life. So like, why not just combine that? And then 4 years ago, I had a job interview in Beijing. And I find out there's quite a few comedy clubs, or like not comedy clubs. There's one comedy club, and then there's quite a few open mics. And then while I was like there for the interview, I was like, why not just try it out? So I did that. loved it. It's a lovely community, and then moved there during COVID. I was like, okay, the community is
Oh wow.
semi gone, but
Yeah.
it survived through COVID, and I stick with that club.
Are those comedy clubs censored at all by the party?
So the thing was like in China, it's funny. Like as long as you stay away from politics, you can talk about absolutely everything. Like
Except the government. You can't talk about the government.
Our government, but, like you can joke about American, like yeah, like there's no taboo besides that. Like
I feel like if American government was off the table, I couldn't do comedy.
But the thing is, like so like I went to Jimmy Carr show last month, and then he got canceled because he had jokes about World War II and the Holocaust. And then that in a way is like an okay topic in China to say. I was like, okay, that's very interesting to know like what's censored outside of, like basically there's censorship everywhere.
And that's what I was saying when we were transitioning, is like the way America's painted to Americans is much different than it's painted, you know.
So
in just history generally.
So in here, like I think people are more concerned about basically the history.
Yeah.
Don't talk about anything bad happened in history on stage if you're not the victim of that stuff. And then in China, it's like, yeah, just stay away from politics, but you can talk about absolutely everything.
Yeah, but and then even your versions of history are sometimes different than our versions. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Trevor Noah.
I love him.
I love him too. So in his book, Born a Crime, he talks about how in South Africa, Hitler wasn't bad. And you in South Africa, you picked a European name, and he had a friend called Hitler. And then they go to a Jewish community to dance, and they're like, "Go Hitler!" at this Jewish. So with that said, yes, it's. But you're with all that said, Chinese politics, the way it's painted here. Have you been paying attention to that since you've?
Yeah, like I mean, I have a lot of friends from here, so it's like I've heard a lot. It's just like it's the same thing. It's like you have to think critically.
Yeah,
it's just like what does people believe?
Yeah.
So right now, like people in China can have like the thing like cost of living is so low. Like anybody basically, if you can find a job, you can survive.
I'm moving to China.
Well, maybe I see, because I'm still on the one thing, like I just want to know, like, if I go into a comedy club in Beijing and I go on stage and I make a joke about, I don't know, President Xi.
You can't do it, she said.
I'm saying, what is gonna happen? Am I going to jail?
Yeah.
See,
well, you physically harmed.
So the thing is like the thing is like that's so like I said,
what y'all's jails like? Are they? What are y'all's jails like?
The thing like it's also like is about what I said earlier. Is like how people are okay with being rude, how it's gonna affect people right now.
Yeah.
So if you make a joke about him, that's gonna affect his life, or like affect the politics, the like how people think of him.
Yeah.
How other countries, like it's really broken down to how it's gonna harm what's going on right now.
How it harms the greater good, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the reason I'm asking, and I'm not trying to badger you, the reason I'm asking is I'm trying to get used to it, because I think if Trump wins again, that's what we're going to have here, because he's already talked about using the Department of Justice here to go after his critics and his political rivals. So I'm trying to get used to this whole, you know.
Well, this is the thing, like you guys, so what I'm understanding with the politics here is like you guys vote for the party, and then the party basically has a person, right? No.
I mean, you can vote for whoever you want to.
So if people are really just don't like someone, like I just don't understand how majority of people vote for him if like most of the voice I heard is complaining about him. That's the part I don't understand.
The thing is, it is a big two-party system, right?
Yeah.
And it's true that in most primaries you have to vote. You have to be registered with the party to vote that way, but you don't have to, or to vote in the primary to select who's going to be the candidate for that party. And then in the presidential election, People
Well,
usually
it's
people usually fall in line. Like they usually go straight ticket Democrat, straight ticket Republican, just because you know what the Democrats think and they want to
she
help
would.
people, and you know that the Republicans want to protect their money. So it's just like, who are you?
Well, she was asking why are we worried about this guy if everybody's complaining about him? It's because we have the electoral college. If we just went on a popular vote and how many votes they got, Republicans would rarely ever have power, and only in certain parts of the country, and certainly not for president. There's only been one president in the last 35 years who was Republican and won the popular vote, and that was George W. Bush on his second term after 9/11, when everybody was patriotic. But yeah, that's the reason he can lose by 7 million votes and still become president. It's a really old, fucked up system. Like she's laughing because
It's
it is
happened a couple of
stupid.
times.
It's stupid, and
It's happened a couple of times here.
most people think it's stupid, but that's just the system that they built.
I do want to get to know our guests a little bit. So you started in Beijing because you were there for a job interview and you saw the club. You're like, let me get up. All right. Have you have you been around South Florida since you've been here? How long have you been in South Florida doing comedy here?
3 months.
3 months.
So I moved here in August and then
Okay.
something like that, yeah.
Where do you I want to ask we usually ask what's your favorite venue, which you can't say.
Can't say the improv's too easy. Everybody,
But I don't know if you've even had a chance to go to the improv yet.
Not the improv.
Where have you liked performing here since you've moved here?
So we have like I got in touch with a few American comedians in China, and then they gave me a whole list of like basically what's going on, like what kind of venues are here in South Florida, and then I looked to find like what's closest to, and then next club comes up, like
Spanx the Hawk.
and then but then at the time I couldn't do that one because I work early on Tuesday, and then I went to the Wednesday one, Bull Camper.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it's fun, and then that one. So we used to have two venues in Beijing as well, and I feel like our Thursday venue is like an individual room in a pub, and then it's more inclusive. Like so, people in that room is kind of there for the comedy.
Yeah.
And then with that goes kind of like that. I'm not sure. Like it's good.
Yeah.
Like he is pretty good host, and then the whole thing is organized enough.
Yeah.
So I'm that's basically the only one I've been doing in here. So I enjoy that.
Yeah, we got to get you out because we talked about coming to our Mike O'Shea's because you also had.
So yeah, we used. It's funny. Like on Tuesday, we still have a mic in Beijing. It's called Patio O'Shea. I love that pub. Yeah, I spend way too much time or money.
That is our first. That is our first international favorite. So we're gonna have to note that.
Do you ever go to Beijing? Go to Patio O'Shea's.
Yes, you're gonna have to.
Yeah.
All right. So, have you traveled anywhere else to do comedy outside of China?
I did comedy in Hong Kong, where that's still part of China, but it's just like we consider that outside of the mainland border.
No, I agree.
I need to get a visa to go there.
It's different rules, huh?
Yes, but it's fun. Like comedians there are funny.
Can you make fun of the government in Hong Kong?
I don't know much about Hong Kong government.
No, but can you make fun of the Chinese government in Hong Kong?
I'm a comedian this, so like the thing is like that knowing there's certain limits in a way is a challenge for me to write jokes.
Yeah.
It's like how do I try to write a whole set just clean jokes. Yeah. I try to write a whole set just about my life. Like sometimes limits just force you to go.
You gotta adjust, right?
Yeah. So like for me, like I don't have jokes for that because like I said, I really try to stay away from politics, news, history, so that I literally have a happier life. Yeah. Because like I don't want to think about it. I don't want to know about it. If people tell me no.
Ignorance. We are opposite people, you and I.
But she's right. I mean, so many people have been worried about me because I'm so like, and you know what? I found my balance. I'm doing comedy now, so I can make fun of it. It's a little bit more lighthearted and not as sad. Because when you get really into politics, and I'm liberal, so I'm like everything's so we treat people so bad. I'm not Republican. Like I don't have money to protect. So Anyway, I'll stay away from politics. Terry keeps giving me glaring at me. Anyway,
No, I'm just saying we are very different people. To me, if I'm not saying the things I really want to say, then I don't know. It just seems wrong.
Not like I don't want to say. It's just I don't care. That's the thing. My attitude towards politics is that I don't care. That's
Well,
my personal stand, because it's like
and that's
I don't think it's anything that I can change. Like
Mhm.
around the world, not just China, like around the whole world, whatever going on. I hate war. There are two main wars going on the earth, and I literally wrote a new joke
Preach.
about. I have a new joke about like the new Middle Eastern war. Literally has people forgot about Ukraine war. I'm like, yeah, this is literally what's going on. If there's a new something worse happen, people just gonna forget all about what happened before.
I just gotta say that's a political joke. That's a political joke.
It is like
a little bit.
like,
Yeah.
I wrote it like last week or something. It's like I don't like war at all.
Yeah.
And with politics, like whoever starts war, whoever like kept the war going, is something like that. Okay, I just don't like this. I don't want to know more. I don't want to hear more. I don't want to hear all the debates. It's like just stop the war. That's literally my like. I don't.
That's your position. Like you're one party, one ticket party, one item ticket. Stop wars.
Yeah, that's literally my stand. Like anything else going on, I don't care. It's just like I feel like people, like the whole earth should be more connected. And anything against that is just like, okay, if that's what's going on, I cannot do anything about it. I don't want to know.
All right. So
Yeah.
let's get back to learning about you. I'm sorry to keep getting you on politics. That's my bad. What's been your favorite moment since you've become a comedian? Or your proudest moment?
Well, so right before I moved here, I got asked to do a few shows, and then that's pretty good. Like it's gonna
before you even moved here, you got asked to do shows?
Yeah, like I got asked to do like special show, like just me.
And
like,
you were like
flattered. Yeah, because
where did you do it?
I was still like in Beijing, and there's a city in Tianjin. They used to only do shows, and then they asked me to do a special there. But then like certain things, life happened. I was like, okay, I can't really do it. But still, I still have the poster. I'm really happy about that.
That's so amazing. Like headlining, huh?
Yeah. Also, I performed with people. I don't know if you guys know about Joe Wong. Like we did shows together, even though it's a showcase, but it's like it's nice to just know, like people who have been in comedy for 20 years, or I don't know. He's not that old, but like I don't know how long has he been in comedy, but like he's super nice.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know more people who are doing it. It's nice to know how when people are actually that level good and they are still down to earth. Like that's literally taught us. Don't be arrogant.
Yeah. You know. What's been your biggest challenge as a comedian?
It's the power. Because in Beijing, one of the biggest problem is if you are not close with people who are organizing the shows, or if you make the people who are organizing the shows think you're not funny, even though the audience can tell who is funny, who is not. You are not.
That's a problem here too.
Or they? It's like it's the same. Where they don't like you, right?
But the thing that you have more opportunity here, but because the English community is small, and there's only that many audience for comedy.
Yeah.
And if people just keep saying like, oh, like, I don't know, it's about power.
I didn't even ask you, do you perform in what's your language?
English.
You just do English?
Yeah, I have a lot of dirty jokes. I just can't say that in my mother tongue.
Okay.
What
is your mother tongue? That's what I'm
Mandarin Chinese.
Mandarin. Okay.
Yeah, like there's certain words. It's like no, that those words doesn't come out of my mouth in my language.
Is that something you want to try to tackle?
I have Chinese jokes.
Okay, good.
But it's just like certain like so all of my jokes if I directly translate to Chinese, it will work.
Yeah.
And it's funny, but it's just I can't say those. It's just too dirty.
Yeah. Got it.
I like my jokes. So.
All right. So speaking of, you've told us you're from China. Like, where are you from? Do you have a day job that you care to talk about? Are you a student?
Yeah.
Family? Do you have any other projects or podcasts? Anything you want to talk about? Tell us about yourself.
So before I moved here, I was a marketing manager for a tech company. It was fun. Like I produced my own tech show. Still on YouTube. I haven't posted for a while. It's called Leonard T. Search for open source geeks. I'm trying to narrow down. It's like, do I still want to do tech review, but because it's getting more difficult for me to get new stuff nowadays, and then or do I want to focus on simple stuff because I do see people are struggling with like simple computer use.
Yeah.
Also another reason I haven't posted for a while is my computer right now is I do editing, so it's better for me to actually talk about a good topic and do it. And no matter how long that's gonna take on my computer to edit that, that will be good. And after I move here, I'm a full-time student. I'm getting a master's degree in education. Also, I work for the same school. I don't want to say the name of the school, but like that's basically what I'm doing with my life right now, and try to do more comedy.
Okay. All right. And do you have any upcoming shows or anything you want to?
I have one next Thursday in some casino in West Kendall.
Where can people follow you if they want to see your flyers
Instagram, YouTube, just search Lander T. Like basically if you search Lander T, you found something that's me. Like it's a rare enough name to,
and that's LANDERTEE, right?
Yep.
So search her and you can catch her next Thursday.
Next Thursday and 22nd on the one in Oakland Park, something
Prison Pals?
Yeah.
Okay. Prison Pals. That's Raul. We just had him on. So I think he was, I guess, last week, wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Miami improv, yes.
Yes. He
or
was here.
Dade Con what's it called? Yeah, something
Dade
like
Comedy County.
Yeah.
Dade County Comedy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Terry, do you have words for white people this week?
No. I have words for all people this week. Because this is that time of year. I feel like right now is when everybody's doing, and well, this is for all American people. Sorry, I have to qualify that this week. But this, I feel like this is that time of year where everybody's trying to get their last gifts going. You know, they're picking up gifts for their family or their loved ones. So I just wanted to have a quick word about gifts. As you're out there on Amazon or shopping online or trying to get to the stores, trying to pick up those last few gifts, just try to remember what you're doing, and why you're doing it. Because I personally was feeling like very anxious, a lot of stress about, and I feel like it was stealing away, how I was supposed to be feeling about this. Not like the whole spirit of the season kind of thing, but just like I'm trying to pick up a thing to show somebody how I feel about them. And I'm getting aggravated and anxious and stressed out over it. It's like, doesn't that kind of take away from the whole point? Isn't that adversarial to what you're trying to do in the first place? And when I thought about that, I kind of self-corrected and I said, all right, let me get in a better mood. Let me convince myself to forget about the fact that I hate shopping. And in just doing that, it was like a weight off my shoulders. And then it allowed me to not only be happier, but it allowed me to have a clearer mind in picking stuff out for these people. Because that is the whole point. The whole point is to make people I love happy for a moment, And when I did that, it took a lot of that holiday stress off. So I just wanted to put that piece of advice out there, just to remember as you're getting aggravated, doing all this stuff, remember why you're doing it. Try to remind yourself of why you're doing it in the first place. And that's going to make you feel a lot better. At least I believe it's going to make you feel a lot better. Take a little of that holiday stress off. And, just remember, you're just trying to put a smile on somebody's face. There doesn't have to be all this pressure, as long as you're doing things for the right reasons and you have the right motivation, everything's going to be fine. You don't have to try and make it perfect.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't disagree with any of that at all. Just don't get caught up in that, capitalist fucking cycle of Christmas, and remember why you're there shopping.
And nobody judges by the price tag. Okay. a good, well thought out gift. Hey, you mentioned this 6 months ago. I stored it away and remembered it, is way better than a gift that's worth 3 times the money.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
thoughtfulness, that is priceless stuff.
All right. All right. You want to pub anything before we go, Terry?
Just the book. It's on Amazon now, Unclaimed Ashes. It makes a great stocking stuffer.
And there's a second book coming soon, right?
Yes. The second one is being edited right now. So
all right. And you can catch Lander T Prison Pals next Thursday at what time?
No, next Thursday is a casino in West Kendall. And
Oh,
22nd is
22nd is Prison Pals.
Yep.
And then next Thursday is the casino in Kendall.
Yep.
All right. And then we have our mic coming up, O'Shea's on Tuesday. Come support live open mic comedy. It's starting at 8:30. And then other than that, I'm at the Bad Bitch Brunch in Miami on the 23rd. So but we'll be back next week.